Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Rosa and Rubini podcast, Making Sense of This World. My name is Manas Chawla, and I'm really pleased, as always, to be joined by CEO and Head of Research, Brunello Rosa. Brunello, this week we're talking about the quote-unquote rest of the world and how it flies to China to celebrate Xi Jinping's power. We focused much of the sort of last several weeks and months really talking about Donald Trump, Elon Musk again and again, and perhaps, with the rest of kind of the analytical news media sidestep the rest of the world, but it's time to go back to that. A big meeting happened, just this week where we saw powerful leaders, Narendra Modi, Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, flock to China, lots of photo ops taken, a big projection of China's power. But what did all of this really amount to? What did all of this mean, and what background and context does it come in?
Absolutely. So the gathering was motivated by the celebration for the end of World War II in China, the defeat of Japan, which of course took place in 1945. And so this was the 80th anniversary. We spoke in the news columns and podcasts about this potential being occasion for a Yalta 2.0 meeting if Trump had decided to attend, which it didn't occur. Um, but I think this Yalta is still in the workings, and each of these agents had a little break. This wall was being built. Now that was the official occasion. The image we all saw, the military parade in Tiananmen Square, the exposition, the massive weaponry that China now has at its disposal, including new types of supersonic missiles and all sorts of things. Where Putin was there, Kim Jong-un was there, another Shenko were there, another lot of us from around the world. You could even say that to attend this kind of meeting, it's obvious it's the celebration of the end of World War II, which has united the world against the communism. They were trying to find this extent. Now, what really happened before that was the meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
Mm.
And what is it? Well, it's a little known organization in our part of the world. Maybe it's very important. Only there is started in 2001 as a military cooperation, security cooperation in Russia and China, which is actually the foundation of the limitless cooperation signed on February 2022, just before the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. But that 2022 meeting will never have occurred if this SCO had been launched in 2001. It was Russia, China, and a bunch of Central Asian countries, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, so on and so forth. And then it expanded because new actors will join. First, India and Pakistan, both in the mid 2010s, and then Iran in the early 2020s. So it was like the rest of the world gathering versus the West watching. But the rest is big, definitely in terms of population, is growing fast and definitely faster than Europe and the US combined. So it's definitely worth watching these things.
Yeah. One of the countries whose roles is worth highlighting here is India. And India and the US have had a interesting relationship. India and China have an interesting relationship. Modi's high-level attendance to this meeting, what does it tell you about the way that the rest of the world, the global South, is evolving and responding to Donald Trump on the stage?
Absolutely. So India is very important role. We have discussed this so many times. Was the leader of the non-aligned, although eventually sided a bit with the Soviet Union, given some socialist common background there, yet didn't formally want to appear to lead the coalitions. And then Cold War, and they try to use this same balance with the way. Um, but side and making sure that there's no on China's side, given the size of China, of India, the population, on and so on, the fastest, one of the fastest world, definitely a country on the north side. So uh, Biden tried to have India on his side by promising potential terrible secrets, dancing, and then doing so many military cooperation agreements. And so that was lots of work done by Biden. Then Trump came. And while the beginnings were, all hugs and kisses with India, you might remember the Howdy Modi type of parades in the US, and then Modi uh, kind of reciprocated with the Namaste Trump kind of extravaganza. So it started on the right footing. Then the second term started of Trump, some dramatic things changed. He slapped a 50% tariff on India, given their infant turmoil from Russia moves. Then in the past months, he publicly sided with Pakistan way more than India. Also, cost Pakistan Prime Minister
Mm.
Trump for Nobel Prize award and this and that. So Modi could felt left to and definitely humiliated in the way from. As a result, Modi went to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, and we also the images of hugs, kisses, shaking hands, hands in hands with Putin, two hands handshake with Xi. So these are all signs of an approach from India to receive China. Not good news for the West. We want to keep some form of prevalence. India was part of the so-called Quad or Quadrilateral Security dialogue with the democracies of the Pacific, together with Australia, the US, and Japan. It's probably formally still part of that, but you cannot be the democracy of the Pacific with the US and Australia and others. And then at the same time, hugging and kissing with the dictators of the other side. So, India's worth watching and, allowing it to move more towards Russian China doesn't seem like a good idea for the West.
Yeah. Yeah. And certainly plays into perhaps, Narendra Modi's hand, leader who's trying to emphasize a multi-aligned, a multipolar foreign policy. So far it doesn't seem like any of the American or Chinese leaders have been able to force him to pick one side over another. He's been able to sort of pursue all sorts of geopolitical relationships at the same time, which perhaps is, some of the readings of the tea leaves on where the world order is going. So something we'll continue to watch for many weeks and months ahead. As always, Brunello, thank you so much for your time and insight.
Thank you. And the next time.